Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a pop culture podcast about TV, movies, comics, and all things geek. This is it, part 3 of our March Madness tournament to crown our favorite sitcom of all time. The winner will be decided today. Thanks for listening. All right, our final leg of the tournament, part 3. We're just going to get right into it. I'm Zach Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
This is Tommy Smithereens.
And I'm Clifton.
All right, so we will start in the Elite 8, take it all the way down until there's one left standing. Tommy's been tracking the brackets, so take it away, Tommy.
Okay. In our Elite 8 standing, we have the first matchup, which is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus Community. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air versus Community. I'm going to start the voting off by picking which one I would prefer to watch, and that's Community. Frank, what are you looking at?
Same for me. Like I've said before, I enjoyed some of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it's no contest. Community to me is the better show.
Zach, what do you prefer? I think I know where it's going.
Oh, do you?
I have an inkling.
He's got a hunch.
This is a tough one.
Uh-huh.
But I do like one of them and not so much the other one, so I'm going to have to go with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay.
It's a very tough call in that.
Yeah.
Yes, that was heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
Clifton?
Again, I just haven't had much experience with Community, so I got to go with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which I remember being advertised as every episode being a very special episode.
There is no special communities. None.
No, not at all. Except the finale.
That's for sure.
That's very special. Yeah. Honorable engineer, would you please honor us with the decision?
I feel like it is kind of obvious, but Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I knew it was headed that way.
And the ones and zeros, give it to Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Beep, bop, boop.
I take back everything I took back about what I thought about you.
Just rescinded.
Yes.
Next up on the Elite 8, we have Spin City on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh.
Spin City on the Dick Van Dyke Show. That little laughter sounded like it was coming from Frank, so it seemed like he was itching to make a comment. So go ahead and vote, sir. Which would you prefer? Spin City or Dick Van Dyke?
Yeah, it's Dick Van Dyke. I like Spin City, but I love Dick Van Dyke, so I'd go with Dick Van Dyke.
Zach, who you calling for?
Yeah, so that's karma hit me hard for being such a jerk to Community and Newhart in the last episode.
Yeah.
This hurts, but I gotta say Dick Van Dyke.
Understandably so.
Yeah.
I myself, you know what? I'm gonna be an outlier. I'm gonna say Spin City just because. Just because.
I almost was too. I almost was.
Just because. And Clifton.
Oh, Dick Van Dyke.
Understandably so.
Just Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
I love Dick Van Dyke, man. He's a classic.
He is a classic.
It was
I just feel
close,
sorry
though.
for Spin City, feels like.
If it was a tie, Spin City could have gone on. It could have gone on.
It could have. Next up, we have Taxi or I Love Lucy. Taxi or I Love Lucy. Clifton, would you mind starting us off on this round?
Yeah. I mean, in this one, I like them both, but I still have to go with I Love Lucy. I got to go with Lucille Ball over the whole Taxi gang, over Judd Hirsch and Tony Danza and Andy Kaufman and Danny DeVito. It's got to be Lucille Ball.
Mary Lou Henner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Christopher Lloyd.
Jeff Connolly, was that his name, right? The guy from Grease.
Jeff Conway, yeah.
Yep, I love Lucy.
I'll pick the next vote for Lucy. Frank, who do you have?
Who do you think I have?
Just want to hear you say it out loud. Make it official.
Taxi.
Oh.
And Zach. I know this is going.
Yeah. I gotta say Lucy. I watched it with my mom, my grandma. You know?
You didn't sit around watching Taxi with your mom and grandma?
Yeah, that seems weird.
Well, not with my grandma. I might have watched it with my dad a little bit.
Got it.
No, that's not true. I think I watched it at my grandmother's house and I would spend the night there. That's still Lucy. I love Taxi. I love it. I love it. Love it. I'm so happy it made it this far. I wasn't sure it was gonna, but yeah.
So Lucy's love moves forward. Next on the ballot, we have Moonlighting or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Zach, since you ended, I'm going to try and begin with you.
Let me see here. I got, like, if I'm going funny, I'm taking Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Got it.
Right? So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
So what's up, Frank? The bees? The bees buzz?
The bees bee?
How's it go?
There's a lot. There was a lot of them.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah, but
Yes.
he has one that the bees buzz. I forget
Yes,
what
the
it
bears bear, the bees bee.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, while I'm glad that Brooklyn Nine-Nine has made it all this way, I think it's a great show. I love it, but it's not Moonlighting for me, so I'm gonna have to go with Moonlighting.
Interesting. I myself, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and Clifton.
Just from personal connection, it's got to be Moonlighting. I haven't seen a whole lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but Moonlighting, it was something I remember from being a young kid watching and enjoying even then. And it's the introduction of Bruce Willis.
Yes,
it is very much so.
I don't remember him being anywhere else before that. And then he blew up on the scene.
Yep.
Oh, immensely.
Soon after.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's my pick is Moonlighting.
Honorable engineer, what is your choice?
This one is definitely rough, but it is going to be Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Think you hear that? You hear that heartbreaking in the background?
Some walk by night, some fly by day.
Gentlemen, that is the sound of us reaching into the final four.
Wow. Moonlighting put up a fight, though.
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Good
So
grief.
much nostalgia.
Yes.
So much nostalgia. But starting off in this round, we have Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on the Dick Van Dyke Show. Wow. Wow.
I'd like to see that fist fight. I'd watch that. I'd watch that.
Dick Van Dyke has that reach. I don't know.
He does. He's wiry.
He's scrappy.
Yeah.
He is.
He's lanky.
That was Will Smith before he put on all the Ali weight, you know?
Sure.
Yeah,
He put on all the Ali muscle.
Yeah, but Dick Van Dyke can swoop through chimneys, you know?
Yeah.
So,
a lot of physical comedy. A lot of physical stuff.
Oh yeah, he could take a punch. He could take a tussle.
If he got tossed out of the house, that wouldn't be a dummy. That'd be Dick Van Dyke. He would take that fall.
He would take that.
All right, but let's go to the undercard, though. So what happens with Carlton and Jerry Van Dyke, though?
Well, Jerry's crazy. So
crazy.
Jerry Van Dyke was crazy. So
Carlton's losing flat out.
Yeah.
He'd be lucky if he keeps his head intact.
Yes. Jerry's nuts. So yeah, it would have been Jerry. I'd put my money on there.
I wouldn't want to face Aunt Viv though. That's a bit of a terrible tussle there. But Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Dick Van Dyke? Frank, who are you picking?
Again, as much as I understand how much people love the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Will Smith, just never was my thing.
Okay.
Your
dad would disagree.
My father would disagree. My father would like the show. He enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go with Dick Van Dyke. Like I've said before, I watched plenty of Dick Van Dyke. I would watch Dick Van Dyke now. I still think it holds up. So I would definitely choose Dick Van Dyke.
Clifton?
I got to go Dick Van Dyke still.
Ooh,
It's
he's
one of my
muscling
all-time
through.
favorites.
He's
Mm-hmm.
muscling through.
One of my all-time favorites.
I like a scrap, so let's give him some little bit of air for the French Prince.
Oh, wow.
Just because
Really?
I don't want Dick Van Dyke to have zero.
I think this is going to play out differently than you think.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Wow, Zach. Okay.
Oh, boy. Because
Wow.
I thought that I was going to be the lone one with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I thought I was going down with the ship on this one,
Okay.
right? Because somehow the show has made it this far, and I think I'm the only fan of the show here.
Or given what it's up against,
Right.
maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm going Fresh Prince.
Wow. It is going to our engineer. I would like to hear his his pick.
This is the most painful decision I have ever made, but it is Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes. Come on.
Whoa!
Are we even? Why are we even talking about it? Come on.
I knew it was going that way. I'm sorry for giving you hope. Zach. It was my twisted thoughts. I apologize. I sincerely apologize.
We gotta take that robot in for maintenance. I never would have guessed that.
No, strap him to a chair and make him watch all seasons of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with no edits,
No, he's
no
seen them
commercial
all.
breaks. and still made the choice. Wow.
And still made the choice.
Wow. Okay. Next on the final four. This is an odd pairing. I didn't think this would get this far. I Love Lucy definitely felt I felt it was going to make it this far. But Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Wow.
Oh wow.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I Love Lucy.
Separated by like 60 years.
Yes. I'm not going to show the same sympathy for Brooklyn Nine-Nine that I gave Fresh Prince. I give it to I Love Lucy. Clifton?
Yeah, I have to go with I Love Lucy on this one. I should watch more Brooklyn Nine-Nine at some point.
yeah, you should. Yeah, you should.
I hear it's excellent.
Yes. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Pretty hilarious.
Yes.
Frank,
What's the count?
2-0. I Love Lucy.
Hmm.
And I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I do too. But I don't need it to come down to a tie, so I'm just saying I love Lucy.
You don't want the heartbreak?
I
You
don't
want
need it.
the heartbreak.
I've had enough tonight. I'm good.
Don't give Frank hope.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I'm not Charlie Brown. This is not losing the football. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good
yeah.
with, I'm good with not kicking it. Thank you.
Zach.
I mean, it's Lucy. It's always Lucy.
It's always Lucy.
I'm sorry, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I like it. I do. But no, I'm a sentimentalist at heart. I can never. This next, the finals is going to be tough, but,
yeah.
I can't vote against Lucy.
Oh, yeah. I know you guys at this point know what exactly is going on at this point. So, of the two choices, there are only two left. We're in the last decision. And it is between.
Oh, that's it. This is the finals, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's already in the finals, man.
Oh,
No.
wow.
We have hurriedly sped through everything. We've painfully made decisions on heartfelt shows and nostalgic thoughts going back to why we love them and why they hold a special place for us. And it comes down to 1950s or 60s TV,
Right.
in which TV has not gotten better to the 50s according to us.
50s to 60s, 50s to early 60s.
50 to early 60s. And it's Dick Van Dyke or I Love Lucy.
Oh, it's a heavyweight battle.
It's a
Yes.
truly heavy of the greats.
I don't want to go first. Not it.
Oh no, you get to go first. You voted for those two shows all night, so you should vote for them. Go ahead.
Now we're fighting to see who doesn't go first.
I gotta think it over.
You know what? I'll go first.
There you
And
go.
I'll state it by saying I pick I Love Lucy.
Mm.
Beloved sitcom. Lucille Ball was the greatest. You have episodes of her show being mimicked to this day by other shows. Like I was watching Victorious, and they showed a clip of Drake and Josh in a sushi factory doing the candy wrapper bit
Mm-hmm.
from I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
And without even thinking of what show Drake and Josh are doing, you know without words what exactly they're mimicking. The show set the groundwork for many, many sitcoms to come. It is probably the archetype for what it is to be on TV. So my vote goes to I Love Lucy. There'll be no other. I don't care if you're Fran Dresser or Megan McCulley who mimic the role or at least come close to the voice. But for a while I didn't even know she was a redhead.
Oh yeah.
like you hear it, but
Mhm.
it's like visualizing it. You don't picture it until you see it.
No, I know the black and white reads blonde to me.
Yeah, I always see it
Yeah.
as blonde. I never see it as a
Me too.
redhead.
Mhm.
And even it's weirder too. It's with Laverne and Shirley. That L doesn't make me think Laverne and Shirley.
No?
Right.
Not at all. It makes me think I Love Lucy because when she spells their heart out, that's how the
Right.
L is sick.
Hmm.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So my vote
So
From
one
Tommy.
for Lucy, huh?
is Lucy.
Okay.
Anyone want to volunteer before I spin the bottle on this one?
I mean, it's coming down to jokes for me. Like it's specific jokes. It's right. It's like
The pratfall.
It's like
that's
that-
what Dick Van.
it's like that flashback episode of Dick Van Dyke where he's like in the Army Corps and he's wearing like the huge helmet and the you know
Mhm.
and the military jacket. Like that visual cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
Versus like, come on, like Lucy out on the ledge dressed as Superman.
Mhm.
Like,
That's still hilarious
Right?
to me. Yeah. But the pratfall, that's him. If you like
Yeah.
Three's Company,
Yeah.
John Ritter got it from the best.
yeah. Or okay, so now I'm also opening up to the spouses, right?
Right.
Okay.
Like it's all
Yeah.
it is also a little bit like Mary Tyler Moore versus Desi Arnaz, and that doesn't
Sure.
make it any easier.
No.
It does. No, it does not. Not even remotely.
No.
But let's go to supporting cast.
Okay.
Fred Nethel versus
Yeah.
Sally and Buddy.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't.
Okay.
The other thing is, when I think about supporting cast for the two shows, like there's never a plot that revolves around the people that Ricky worked with. Like there's never any of those. They're always like, my thing is it's not like you get a Alan Brady type story on I Love Lucy, right? Or a Mel Cooley type. The plot revolves around Mel Cooley, Richard Deacon, who's awesome, amazing. You don't really get that. It's usually a plot of, Lucy wants to be in the show, and it's going to some ridiculous link to be in the whatever. What's the club called?
The
Tropicana.
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 Tropicana. I almost said Copacabana too, but
Yeah.
Tropicana.
It's a good song.
But I just feel like when you talk about I think that they have a much stronger lineup on Dick Van Dyke.
Interesting.
Yeah, but okay. Well, having said that, the star power that is on I Love Lucy
Sure.
is unparalleled.
Yeah.
You have arguably some of the strongest movie actors to date
Mhm.
that randomly appear the one I could think of the best to me was Harpo Marx.
Right, that's a great
Sure.
one. Sure.
That mess is hilarious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With it's just it's
The mirror gag. The
Yes.
mirror gag. Yeah.
But some might argue that having to have stars on your show, that's the draw. Not. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. I think the mirror bit is amazing. It's not like it's a slouch at that mirror bit. The mirror bit with Harper Marx is fantastic. But I'm just saying, yes. But it is one of those things where, you know, if you're flipping through, I don't know, TV Guide in 1950 whatever, and you see that Harpo Marx is going to be on I Love Lucy, well, you're going to watch I Love Lucy because Harpo Marx is on.
Oh no, I know. Granted, but it's not like she doesn't steal scenes from movie stars.
I
man.
agree
Yeah.
with you. I agree with you. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know,
The
that's
star power. No, I get
Yeah.
you. It's you're equating it to great original writing
yes.
or slapstick star power.
Or we got to have the gimmick of, well, we have a guest star this week because Ricky works at the club.
But that's all. That's all in it. I mean, Dick could work at a club if he wanted to. He just chose not to. He wanted to be
Right.
the everyman.
One word, guys. One word, guys. Vita, meet a Vegemin.
Yeah. Yeah. Her getting intoxicated on TV. Wow. Yeah. Or at least her rendition of being drunk on TV.
Mhm.
Jeez. Unparalleled.
There's a lot of
Unparalleled.
data to take in. And
Yeah.
okay.
Or extremely
okay.
so.
So it's like, again, I go back also to the spouses too. So it's like, oh, Rob versus like his like, you know, miracle letter that you know.
Yes, yes.
Now,
Yes.
Lucy.
Yeah.
I
Then it's cultural diversity.
think you got it for me, Tommy, when you said supporting cast. When you opened it up to Fred and Ethel, yeah, I think that's it. It's Lucy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hard, very hard fought, but it's Lucy.
I still argue that Fred and Ethel aren't as deep as the stuff that the characters that are on Dick Van Dyke. You don't have plots that revolve around Fred and Ethel, right? You have plenty of plots that revolve around Rosemarie or Buddy Sorrell or Richard Deacon or Alan Brady, or that's a deep dive on that side. Otherwise, it's always about Lucy and Ricky. That's it, right? I'm just saying we don't. If we're talking about characters, there's not a lot of characters you can work with on I Love Lucy compared to Dick Van Dyke.
So your choice is for Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, I'm going to say Dick Van Dyke.
Wow.
It's not an
Okay.
issue.
2-1.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying if we're talking strictly characters, that it doesn't really compare.
No, if you're talking about as diverse characters, Dick Van Dyke has the diversity. But if you're talking about strength to the show as a whole, it's just, to me, it's all about Lucy. And she's the show.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is, like, you don't get a lot of, like, plot wise, there isn't a lot of things that are different about plot for I Love Lucy. It's about Lucy. That's my whole point. Whereas you can watch Dick Van Dyke. I just watched Dick Van Dyke the other night. The reason why Buddy got fired was because he insulted Richard Deacon. So it was all about Richard Deacon being upset, and they had to bring somebody else in who insulted him worse to get Buddy his job back. Right? See, you laugh at that right there.
Right.
It's a funny plot. It's got nothing to do with. It doesn't have to do anything with. It's not about Dick. It's not about Rob Petrie. It's about Buddy Sorrell and Richard Deacon.
No, I'm not taking away anything from it. I'm not saying it's for it to come this far. We understand that it's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not taking away anything from the supporting cast members, but it's, to me, it's a tight 4 for the show of I Love Lucy, and anybody who comes on just adds to what's already there and makes it legendary. Dick Van Dyke, to me, it's stronger writing,
Mm-hmm.
but Lucy's just it seems like it seems like it's an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, in a sense of it's ad-libbed to a certain of perfection. Like, there's no way you wrote this. This is something that she thought of or they thought of in the moment, and it's just something that's magical. Like, it's that, I hate to quote Daredevil. It's like he's good, but she's magic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But let me ask you this: Could you do an episode of I Love Lucy without Lucy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Could you do an episode of Dick Van Dyke without Dick Van Dyke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my point. Is what I'm saying. I think Dick Van Dyke is a much stronger show, and it's not all about one person.
But it doesn't. But it's not about. I don't think it's about so much the star. It's just what I think is the better show.
Okay.
I just don't. I think that in this day and age, the sad part is people have to be reminded that Dick Van Dyke was great, and nobody forgets Lucy.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you ask someone under 30 whether they know either of them. They're going to say, "I know either of them."
I disagree.
I would say Lucy for sure.
Yeah, Lucy's indelible. It's. I agree with them not understanding their TV history, but I remember Wanda and when I was showing people the first episode of Wanda, and everybody thought it was a Lucy episode. I was like, it's not Lucy, it's Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
And I get it with when he was phasing through the chair of how it would be him. But I'm thinking, why would you think it's Lucy? Because it's 2 beds? And that's the only pull.
Well, Dick Van Dyke had 2 beds too.
Yeah, but to me, there's nothing about it that screams "I love Lucy." Mm-hmm. There's no whining.
Right.
Her being her being extra sneaky. It's story wise, I give it to Dick Van Dyke because they didn't have the magic that Lucy had when she came in on camera. Lucy at that point of her career was magic. That's why I'm saying it. I'm not saying that the Dick Van Dyke isn't good. We wouldn't have voted this far for it not to be good. But if I'm putting both of them up next to each other, there's no way I would love to see an interview where people wrote for how Lucy acted.
So we're at what? We're at 2-1, right?
Yeah, Clifton has not said a word.
No.
Okay.
Clifton has not said a word.
So it's in the balance. So Clifton has it in the balance.
Right.
Yes, he does.
Either 3-1 win or it's a tie.
Yeah.
Right.
Or go start engineer.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it only comes down to personal experience. And which one is the one that I watched and enjoyed when I was young throughout my whole life and can still watch and enjoy now.
Okay.
And that's always been Dick Van Dyke.
Okay.
Wow.
More than Lucy.
Okay.
I watched Lucy some, but like Dick Van Dyke, like I really like Dick Van Dyke's show, even when I was young, later, now still.
Okay.
I think that's part of me too, is the fact that I don't know. I mean, there's episodes of I Love Lucy I'd watch as an episode. I don't think I'd watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
I'd watch all of Dick Van Dyke again, but I don't think I'd watch Lucy just because plot wise, it's Lucy's trying to get into the show at the Copacabana or whatever. I've seen it.
It's her being sneaky.
It's the same show.
And it is supporting cast for me, pushes the scale to Dick Van Dyke. Mary Tyler Moore, especially, I think it's the Dick Van Dyke show, but like it's Mary Tyler Moore. Mary Tyler Moore is like at least half of that, half of the magic of the show.
Right.
And then Buddy and Sally, Maury Amsterdam and Rosemarie, like their banter is great. Their banter always makes me laugh. So I mean that's the one for me.
Wow.
So we know where it's going. Because it has to be our engineer that makes the final decision as to.
Oh my God.
Unless you want to concede and just say it's a tie.
No, there can only be one.
No, there's got to be one.
It'll only be one.
I hate you all.
Do we want to say like our favorite episode of each before we turn it up to them?
Oh, you already mentioned Vitamin of Vigiman. It's funny as hell to me. Oh yeah, that's up there for me.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go around. Let's favorite episode from the show you picked.
Clifton, what's your favorite episode?
I mean, for Dick Van Dyke, I mean, I'll go in for Dick Van Dyke. I mean, obviously there's the Walnut episode that was referenced in in WandaVision along the way. That is a classic. But like Dick Van Dyke had funny situations. Like, I mean, you know him for his slapstick, for his broad physical comedy, but like there were just situations in the show that were funny that they came up with. Like Frank was describing before, when Buddy getting fired for being rude, until by comparison, he's less rude.
Yes.
Like, it's a funny situation. But like one situation, I mean, it's an episode I remember enjoying with my folks growing up, is the one where they think their baby was switched.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
And like they're convinced the whole episode that like there was some accident at the hospital and maybe they got the wrong baby because there was another baby born at the hospital at the same time and they think it's switched. And they call the other family on the phone and describe the situation, and the other family is like, okay, we'll come over. And then the punchline at the end of this episode is that the other family comes to the door, and it's a black family.
Yes.
And they're basically like this could have been solved on the phone,
Right.
but this is just funnier. Like, I just wanted to see your face, and that's what I remember growing up watching and enjoying.
I'm running back. I have so many in my head that I'm sifting through right now.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna go with one that's a little bit of a cheat, because I'm gonna go with one from the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour. Okay,
not a thing.
Totally a thing.
No,
it's the final. It's the final season of I Love Lucy. Basically,
I know.
So they went to an hour, but it was in that season though. They did a flashback episode to how Lucy and Ricky met. And what I love about it is that Lucy's got a friend that, like, to my knowledge, I don't think we've ever met before in the show. And Ricky's got a friend that we've never met in the show, right? And Lucy and her friend go to Cuba, like, on vacation, and they see these two musicians over there, and they're both like, oh, that guy's like really handsome over there, right? And they're both talking about the guy that's not Ricky, right? And then we go over to the guys, and they see the two like American women that are over there, and they're like, oh man, that woman's like stunning. Oh my, and they're talking about the woman that's not Lucy. Right? And so what I love about it is that, like, when they first met, Lucy and Ricky were not attracted to each other. It's an awesome episode. So that I think that one's probably one of my favorites.
All right, gentlemen. 2 for 2. Great legendary shows. By all means, I don't want to make it seem like I don't like either, or one that much less than the other. It's just slightly. They're all different types of comedy that are very appealing, and to me are timeless. But like you guys said, there only must be one. So I hope our engineer was listening to all our different sides, and we're going to see what he grew up with and what he found funny. So if you don't mind.
Are we not doing our favorite episodes?
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't do yours. I apologize.
No,
I thought you had mentioned the one with the boss.
No, that's a good one. That was just something I watched recently.
Okay, all right. Sorry. I'm sorry. I humbly apologize.
Yeah, no. One of my favorite one is Never Bathe on Saturday, which is the one where they tell the story of going on their second honeymoon, and that's the one where Laura gets her toe caught in the bathtub.
Yeah,
and they can't get the door open.
Yeah, yes.
that one is one of my favorites. I love that one.
That was funny.
That one's awesome.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's a fantastic episode.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's
funny as hell.
Yeah, that was all I wanted to get out. That's one of my favorites. I love that one.
The punchline of the mustache.
Yes.
Which I don't want to spoil if people haven't seen it. But in the episode, at one point, he draws a mustache on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's so great.
It's fantastically funny. But yes, and then Tommy, what's yours?
Oh no, I said it was Vitamin the Vegemin.
Is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's mine. Just the hilarity of somebody being drunk on TV.
Yes. Okay.
All right, so it's 2-2. So
Not surprising.
do we need a drum roll or something like?
Yeah. So this final decision relies heavily on our engineer, in which we hope that he comes to a conclusion as to what he believes to be the best show: Dick Van Dyke or I Love Lucy. And what's your vote towards?
Definitely the hardest decision. But it is going to I Love Lucy.
Oh!
And there you have it. I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy, the best sitcom of all time.
Of all time.
Ooh,
That was gut wrenching.
that
That was hard to animate it.
Heavyweight knockdown fight.
Yes,
gosh.
indeed.
So I thought to close out, what we'll do is we'll just go around and we'll name a couple of honorable mentions, some stuff that wasn't in the brackets that we really love, and hopefully, if you could tell people where to find it, if we know that, let's drop that in too. So who wants to go first?
One that I did love that didn't last very long. It only lasted a season, but it was a show that I loved from a million years ago. Was a sitcom called It's Your Move. Does anyone remember the show?
Yeah, early
It
Jason
sounds
Bateman.
vaguely familiar.
It's an early Jason Bateman show.
Okay.
I think it was designed to capitalize on the fact that he was Derek on Silver Spoons.
Right.
And he was that prototypical best friend that got the main character in trouble, kind of like Eddie Haskell.
Yeah.
So I think it was capitalizing on that because he basically is like a junior con man in this It's Your Move show.
Straight sociopath.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like him and he's running all these schemes all the time and doing all this stuff. And then his mom, played by Karen Kay, it's like him and his sister and his mom. And then she starts dating David Garrison, who played Steve Darcy on Married with Children. She starts dating him, and he sees through Jason Bateman's character's stuff immediately. So it basically becomes a battle of wills between them for the entire season of this show, and it only aired for like I said, for one season from 84 to 85.
Right.
I'm hoping it shows up on Peacock.
Okay.
I think it might be available on YouTube if you wanted to watch it. But if you like, I always joke that it's one of those things where that kid grows up to run a casino in the Ozarks. So it's the character is basically the same character that Jason Bateman plays in Ozark, if you've seen Ozark.
Okay.
But obviously it's not. But I'm just saying, to me, in my mind, it's a through line from one to the other, because if you've seen Ozark.
It's a spiritual predecessor to Ozark.
Yes. So, yeah, It's Your Move is one that I would have liked to put on the list that I just didn't think of at the time. So.
Okay. No, I never heard of this one. I'll try and find it on YouTube.
It's a good one. It's a fun one.
That's probably where it'll be. But it's probably a through line through Silver Spoon. That's it was one of the best spinoffs that never happened.
Yeah.
Cool. I have one too that I think probably lives on YouTube right now. I looked it up. It's it's not available to stream anywhere. Just say, I think there might have been a DVD. There might have.
Right.
But this is an old one from when I was a kid. I love this show. I'm gonna throw Herman's Head out.
Oh wow, yeah.
I love Herman's Head.
See, yeah, when you were making the jokes about other '90s Fox shows, I'm Herman's Head's got to come up, and then it did not make it onto the list.
That definitely should have. Yeah, you're right. Herman's Head. I watched a lot of that.
Frequently confused with the Pixar movie Inside Out.
Yeah, it pretty much is the same thing.
Quite
which
similar.
Everybody who remembered Herman's Head was like, oh, it's like Herman's Head.
Right.
But that was I don't even remember who the main guy was, who the actor was. I remember the supporting cast because it was Hank Azaria was his best friend, and Yardley Smith was a coworker of theirs. And the love interest was Ross's ex-wife and friends, right?
Yes.
So I remember all of them.
Who was the chubby guy, the slob?
He was in a million things. But
he's in Armageddon. I remember.
Yes.
He's one of the crew members in Armageddon.
Yep, that's him.
He's the Santa that Kevin McAllister in Home Alone goes up to on the street. I just want my family back, and gives him the Tic Tacs. Yeah.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah, William Ragsdale was the lead, right? I'm looking at the cast list now. It's William Ragsdale was Herman. And then, like you said, Yardley Smith she was in The Office, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Molly Hagan, since Molly Hagan was Angel, Hank Azaria was in it. the guy that you're talking about was Animal was Ken Hudson Campbell.
Okay.
That's
But that
his
guy's
name?
like I said, it's been in a. That's his name, so it says according to the what I'm looking at right now.
Okay.
So yeah, so the hook of it was, a guy who works at like it looked like it was like a magazine or something. And basically like his dilemmas and his situations in real life, you then go like into his head and you see like these 4 characters in his head that are like, this guy was like his intellect and his logic, and this other guy was his lust, and Angel was sort of like his sentimental, like compassionate side, and then there was anxiety, and they were all like arguing with each other, and
Right.
Yeah,
according to tvguide.com, it is not available to stream anywhere.
it's criminal. It's criminal.
Shame.
It should be.
So-
Come on,
Right.
should be on something.
Yes.
Good grief. Disney Plus. I don't even know who would have it anymore at this point.
Right.
I really don't know. I'm curious if it is one of those things that Disney owns because they bought Fox or not.
Probably. They probably
Possible.
do.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they buried it in the ocean because of Inside Out. Because of Inside Out.
All right. So what else is out there? Clifton, you got one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to bring one up. But first, I'm going to issue a correction where in our previous episode, we incorrectly said that Monkeys member Mike Nesmith was Topanga's father on Boy Meets World. In fact, it was Frank's favorite monkey, Peter Tork,
Well, there you go.
played Topanga's dad.
Awesome.
Don't want to fall too far down the monkey's rabbit hole again, but did want to issue that correction. And then for my other recommendation, I'm going to bring up a show that we also mentioned a lot already in our tournament, even though it did not make the list. And that's Better Off Ted, which I forgot about, or I would have put it in there, which focuses on a protagonist played by Jay Harrington named Ted Crisp, who is a single father and works at a like soulless, evil, nondescript fictional corporation called Veridan Dynamics. And about the hijinks that ensue at their soulless, evil corporation and to the good, normal people who work there. Also starred Portia de Rossi and Jonathan Slavin, I think we mentioned before, Malcolm Barrett.
Yes.
And Andrea Anders was the female lead of the show.
It's a good one.
And I know Frank was a big fan of this one too.
It's a great one. Yeah, very, very funny. All the ads were very funny and subversive.
Yeah, they would run these like kind of parody corporate videos about their corporation in the middle of the episodes that were always like spot on satire of evil corporations and just corporate videos. I remember the one they did on diversity back then. That was like it all looks like stock footage, like a corporate video would. And it's like all talking about like the voiceover talking about diversity, and it ends with a shot of all these people, reaching their hands in frame to put their hands together, and they're all white.
Yes.
And when was this show on? What year was this? Like 2007? 2009 to 2010.
Okay.
That's when it was.
But that's also the one where you couldn't, the light, what was it, the lights would turn off?
Yeah, they motion censored everything in the building, including the water fountains.
Right.
Were all like motion censored, but their motion sensors couldn't see black people.
That's right. So you had to have white people, like a white buddy, if you were black and wanted to go use anything.
Yes.
Very funny.
It was a daring show at the time. It was funny.
Yes.
And it is available on Hulu. It's all on Hulu right now.
It was a technicality that it wasn't on the bracket, right?
Yeah.
Because it was like, Frank, you had thought about it, but you were like, Clifton will put it on. So I'm going to use a space on something else.
Right. I thought surely that it'll be on Clifton's list. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to put it as an alternate. I'll be okay. And then, no, it wasn't. So.
But I mean, yeah, they were definitely ahead of thinking of some stuff because, I mean, it's only like we're still having the debate now, or not debate. People are finally realizing like how biased like biometrics and AI can be just based on who's programming this stuff. So like they were way ahead on some of these topics.
Yep.
We recorded this tournament over a couple of days, and the one thing that hit me after we had started, we had done the first round, was I was looking at the bracket. I was like, man, we don't have Mary Tyler Moore on this list.
No.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
I was gonna say that was gonna be mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. It's okay. But there's a lot of glaring ones. I agree. Mary Tyler Moore was one, and I love Better Off Ted too.
Yeah, Mary Tyler Moore. I saw like you can stream all of it on Hulu, and it's just like, another one, super important show. And I remember I was listening to an interview with James L. Brooks, who was, a producer on that show, and talking about like how there were so many firsts on television in that show, and it was just a matter of the timing it was on. It was like we didn't try to be the first on really anything. It was just a matter that like it was the 70s and none of that stuff had been done yet. So really just trying to do anything.
Right.
You were the first. With like a female lead and stuff. So yeah, no, it's an interesting one. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that did not make it to the list because it should have been on there. But
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the other one that I thought of that was that I couldn't believe I didn't put on and didn't make it on the list, especially after recently watching WandaVision, was Family Ties.
Yes.
Like I had that moment of like, oh my God, I love Family Ties so much. Why in the world is this not on my list?
Right.
Yep.
Especially with the cue, the verbal, but the audio, the cue that we got from WandaVision. I was like, oh yeah, that should have definitely been on the list. So that was one. I don't even know if that's on Peacock. Does anyone know?
We'll try to research real quick.
Okay. But yeah, Family Ties, if you're unfamiliar with Family Ties, is a story of Elise and Stephen Keaton who were 60s hippies who, get married and raise a family, in the 80s, and their son is this ultra conservative played by Michael J. Fox.
Republican,
yep. Yes. In the Reagan era of the 80s. And then hilarity ensues. Yep. So
yes. That's how he rebelled against his hippie parents.
Exactly. That's how he rebelled against his hippie parents.
You're right. That's how he rebelled. Yeah.
He became a very ultra conservative Republican. So
I will say that one it's streaming on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that's
really?
who has it now.
Oh, yeah. I guess that was maybe the parent company that made it. So
it's funny you mentioned Family Ties because it reminded me of another 80s show that I watched incessantly. But it's weird because they're supposed to be in the same world as Saved by the Bell, right, as far as their age, but they look like they should be in college. And I was head of the class.
Okay. Yeah. I thought about that.
I was almost going to put on just because I watched every episode up until the ever-loving end, despite the serious cast changes they made like after 2 seasons because either they graduated or went to a greener, or the grass is greener, whatever, those super smart kids.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a great show. That was one I didn't have, I remember liking, but I saw it so young. And then like, it's on HBO Max now. I know that, but like Antenna TV plays it.
Yes.
And I caught it literally like 2 months ago.
Right.
On Antenna TV. And it was the first time I had seen it in years. And I'm like, man, this show is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. This show holds up.
Did it get you pumped up for the upcoming Head of the Class reboot?
I'm so pumped for it now.
Yeah.
It was a good ensemble. And then if you're, the Howard Hessman fan from KRP, he was great in it too. And then until he leaves for greener pastures and was replaced by Billy Connolly.
Yeah.
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 Well, at one point, during the pandemic, I went through a rabbit hole and I ended up watching that show, binged it because somewhere I read that Brad Pitt was in his first roles on Head of the Class. So I hunted for it and I saw it.
Okay.
And you have a high school Brad Pitt interacting with Robin Givens of all people.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, and no, not Robin Givens. I apologize. It was the other girl, the one that did poetry.
Simone?
Not Simone. I guess right. Simone did poetry.
Yes.
The artsy one.
The artsy one.
But Brad Pitt falls in love with her, and then I guess he does her wrong, and then he leaves her. But what's crazy to see is Brad Pitt does all his mannerisms he still does as an adult or an actor.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like the way he say, yeah.
Pants still pulled down a little low and he like leans against something and his shirt comes up.
Yes.
Like a Fight Club.
Yes.
Jeez.
Always leaning. Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yep. He's a leaner.
But it's a rare catch if you can.
Yeah, because Robin Givens was Darlene.
Yes.
And then there was Sarah. And then Janice was a young girl that was put ahead of, and then there was Maria. That you're talking about?
That's who it was. It was Maria.
Okay. Gotcha.
She gets all swoony for Brad Pitt.
Gotcha.
Well, actually, the whole school, he's like the hottest kid in the school, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow. How things never change.
No, not at all. Most kids peak in high school,
Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for the reboot that's coming out from Bill Lawrence is supposed to be working on it from Ted Lasso and Spin City and stuff like that. So I love all of his stuff. So I'm gonna have to love this. I think there's no chance that I won't like it.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Any more out there? We didn't have All in the Family either. That was the other one that was the big notable one that I thought was missing through. Like, yeah,
right.
We missed that one.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Speaking of firsts,
I thought you were going to say the Bob Newhart show.
the original one.
The Bob Newhart show, not Newhart.
Yes, the original one, not
Yes.
Newhart, and not Bob.
Yeah, exactly.
Just got rid of this thing. You're making me go through it again.
Yeah, Bob. The one that I had that I was hoping I was going to be able to find streaming somewhere. Like it's not anywhere. It's not on Peacock. It's not. Is Ed?
Oh, okay.
I thought it was on Amazon.
Is it?
It was.
Okay, maybe it's not there now. But Ed was the story of the bowling alley lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not a horse.
No,
not
not Mr. Ed.
Okay.
Not a horse, of course. Not a horse, of course. Not the famous Mr. Ed. I'm talking about Ed, the bowling alley lawyer, played by Tom Cavanaugh.
Mm-hmm.
But it had like him and it had Julie Bowen before Modern Family and John Slattery from Mad Men was in that as well.
I won't say it.
Oh, Tony's dad?
Yes, Tony's dad.
Okay.
Tony Stark's dad.
Yeah.
Yes, Tony Stark's dad was in that also before Mad Men.
Tony's older dad, not Tony's younger dad.
Right.
No. Yeah, not his younger dad, right. That guy's Preacher, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, as far as I know, Ed is not streaming anywhere, but yeah, it's a great show. It had Michael Ian Black. It has I don't know the actor's name who plays in he's in Miller's Crossing. He's the one that says Jesus Tom, and then they cut to the police beating the crap out of him tied to the chair. That actor, he was in like 2 or 3 seasons or most of Ed as Kenny, and he's great. So yeah, I loved Ed. Ed was an awesome series, but like, apparently it's nowhere. No one seems to find it. And the other thing was it was one of the only shows that David Letterman's production company, Worldwide Pants, made outside.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
you think Kenny was Mike's star?
Let's find out. I believe so.
Was Daryl Mitchell in there? Wasn't Daryl Mitchell in there? The guy from House Party? Yeah.
Yeah, he came in. Yeah, Mike Starr is the name of the actor that was. Yeah, that's Kenny. He was Kenny on. He's been in a million things too, but he was Kenny on Ed. But yeah, he came in later. He came in like the last couple seasons. He was good too.
Okay,
cool. Yeah, I'd love to be able to watch Ed on something, a really good streaming service like Peacock. Hint, hint, NBC. But we'll see.
All right, so I got one last one, and it's my favorite one.
Oh wow!
It's Younger. I love this show. I love Younger.
That's funny.
So, the final season is coming out. It's coming out in April of 21. So it's coming out soon, a couple of weeks.
All right. Give us the premise. What's the premise?
Premise is so there's a character, Liza Miller, and she is and she's a woman in her 40s, divorced with a teenage daughter, and she meets this guy Josh one time, and he kind of like mistakes her. He thinks that they're the same age. And he's in his 20s. He's like, 26, 28, something to that. And so that's what gives her the idea that basically she's going to re-enter the workforce in the world of publishing again, but she's going to lie about her age because of the ageism that's tied to that. And she can't nobody's hiring her because she's been away for so long. Right. And she's in her 40s. So she pretends to be in her 20s and gets hired. And the show is so much more than that. I know like it sounds so gimmicky to hear it. And that's what I thought about it when I was seeing commercials for it, because it's a TV Land show. But man, is it great. It is so great. They do kind of like the Betty and Veronica thing. She's got like 2 guys that she's interested in. And one is Josh, the younger guy, and one's Charles, who's an older guy. And what's so interesting about it is as an audience member, like you like both of them. Okay. There's not like a clear this is the one that she's supposed to be with, but he's the foil. There is actually like a legitimate argument to have her with either one. Like there is kind of a Twilight, like Team Edward, right?
The vampire, the werewolf, that was going on.
Yeah.
Tommy's favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I'm still waiting. Yes.
Yeah. So and it's also from like, it is such a lean half hour. It's a half-hour show. And like, I forget that it's not an hour long. Like watching, I'm like, they pack so much story into these episodes. So yeah. So last season coming out soon, but you can catch all the past seasons, I think it's 6 seasons. It's on Hulu right now. And it's going to have a weird thing. I think it's going to premiere first on Paramount Plus, but then it's going to like they're going to air it on TV Land, the final season, like maybe like, a week or two later. I don't know. Okay. I read that somewhere. I thought it was weird, but
isn't Hilary Duff on that show?
Yep. And stars Sutton Foster, who I remember from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hilary Duff is awesome on it. She's really good on it.
Okay.
And it's like, it's just like, it feels contemporary also, which is nice. Like, it's got definitely like a feel and a tone to it and everything. So I highly recommend that to everybody. I can't say enough good things about it. Clearly, I've been rambling for like 8 minutes on this. So any more quickly before we finish up? No, My Two Dads or dinosaurs or Welcome Back, Kotter or anything. Okay,
227.
I need to go back and revisit some of those. My memories are hazy on them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hit us up on Twitter or in the comments. Did your favorite sitcom go all the way? As always, we'll post links and examples to everything we talk about on letmeknowhowitis.com. Please remember to like us or follow us on social media. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.